Nancy, tell us a little bit about our illustrious guest.
All right, Karen Simmons is a trailblazer in the world of autism. Her bio here says she's the mother of 7, 2 on the spectrum in her brood of 7, which I just think is remarkable. First of all, that she's a mother of 7. And then she's managed to have all of these accomplishments. She started writing in 1998. She wrote Little Rainman, Autism Through the Eyes of a Child, after her kids fell asleep at night. And we're going to talk to her about that book. But she's written many other books, 15 books, including Chicken Soup for the Soul, Children with Special Needs. And she's done conferences across North America. So without further ado, let's welcome Karen Simmons to the show.
I love what you guys are doing. This is amazing.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Kathy.
We're so great to have you here, Karen. And it's so funny you should say that it's great what we're doing, because you've been doing this kind of a format and slightly different kind of a format for longer than we have. I mean, I always say we've been doing this for almost 10 years now. We're in our 10th year, but you've been doing a wonderful show. You have a website that's called Autism Today, and then there's an Autism Today show. Tell our viewers about that.
So I started Autism Today in 1998, actually, when there was nothing else around. I was the first first online information and resource center that there was there. And we used to, back in the day when they didn't have any vehicle online to, collect email addresses and things like that and get the information out to people, because people didn't have information. When I wrote Little Rainman, there were 34 books from Future Horizons. And so, that's amazing. How many books are there now? Thousands and thousands.
Can we even count?
Yeah, you can't count it.
Out there, and we had to let people know what autism was and is. And I mean, it's crazy. So yes, we did. I worked with an internet marketer that was working with guerrilla marketing. I don't know if you're familiar with guerrilla marketing, and he helped me build out the website. I went to Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield's multiple streams of income class, and they taught me a lot about how to really get out there. And they gave me a gold medal they gave me the Internet Entrepreneur of the Year award winner thing back in the day. And but it's a lot to manage for one person to manage that type of an ordeal. So anyway, anybody can go to Autism Today and opt in, and we still send out weekly newsletters and information. So yes, and they can reach me through autismtoday@gmail.com is really the best way to get right to me.
And you still do interviews.
Oh yes, we do the Autism Today show, and I will interview people that are autism experts, autism professionals in different lights, that are just, that talk about, different aspects of autism. I've been on kind of a roller coaster ride over the last 5 years with COVID and moving and, lots of kids stuff going on.
Yeah, you have 7 children?
They're grown, but then there's the grandbabies too, right?
Okay, and you've got 2 kids on the spectrum.
2 kids on the spectrum, yes.
Okay.
One is 30 and one is 28.
Okay, great.
So we're working through the let's get a job, transition.
Right. Yeah.
So yes, you do have to get a job. You do have to get out there and work, and I really highly encourage people to get your kids out there on the paper route if you can, or walking dogs or doing like that, because it's so important. We miss that when we're growing up as parents. We miss that. We cuddle our kids. We helicopter parent our kids. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that, I'm not going to say me, but I had my kids walk in the snow, right? Because I think it's important for them to understand that there's snow down there. But some people, they will just say, oh no, don't go out. We got to protect our kids too much. And I'm saying too many ums. They protect them too much. And I think it's very important that we let them experience and live life.
Right.
and understand that they do have to contribute. They do have to do their chores. They do have to work and earn money, and understand that at an even earlier age than neurotypical kids.
That's a really important point. Can you tell us a little bit about what started? Well, you started all this with writing Little Rainman through a child's perspective. Tell us about that book, and the title is somewhat controversial.
It sure is. Okay, so back then, Wayne Gilpin and I, Wayne Gilpin is the founder of Future Horizons. I came up with the name Little Rainman because, of course, the movie Rainman had just come out, and we wanted to leverage that because people needed to understand very quickly what the book was going to be about. So, you want to make sure that it's easy to understand what something's going to be about. So we use that to help get the word out that this book is going to be about autism. And also, Jonathan was hyperlexic, which means that he could decode, and he could read at the age of 2.5. He started reading things like recycle and just put words together really easily. So we at that time thought maybe he was gifted, and we were going down that avenue. We didn't understand what autism was. We didn't understand that that could be a deficit rather than a huge, tremendous gift. So I felt like the book was really written through me, not by me. Mm-hmm. And it happened at 11:30 at night on the bathroom floor when everybody else was sleeping. So it just kind of spilled out of me. And the artist who did the work was a guy with Asperger's. So it just came through me. And I think today in this age, it would be probably something like autism through the eyes of a child, as I would perceive it through my child's eyes, which was later confirmed by him. I mean, I can't say that those were his words until after he grew up, but that's how I felt as a mother that was very in tune with what my child was all about.
But you have having said that, and we're getting a little bit of feedback, but having said that, you have some pretty impressive people who think that this is a really accurate depiction of what it's like to be a child on the spectrum. Temple Grandin has said that this is, tell us what Temple Grandin said, because you'll know.
Temple to this day says it's one of the best books, or the best book, that explains what autism is like for a child, and it explains it to other people. Because what I had the big challenge with was explaining to the kindergarten teacher what Jonathan was all about. It's like I needed to explain this from kindergarten to grade 1 to grade 2 to grade 3 to grade 4. It's like an instruction manual for Jonathan, or for kids like Jonathan, kind of explaining the quirky behaviors that he would do. But the bottom line, that what he wants in the end is he wants to be loved. He wants to be cared about. He wants to be understood, but he doesn't look like that. I didn't know he had feelings until he was 5 years old, and he came home crying. He says, "Mom, you hurt my feelings." Like I'm his mom. I didn't know. I didn't get that. What he did was he was riding his bike, and he rode his bike across a road. Didn't look to see if there was any cars coming, because that's autism, right? But I'm like, I was yelling and screaming. And evidently that hurt his feelings, but I mean, it would have hurt my feelings if he would have gotten hit by a car too. So, it's those types of things that we have to explain to people. But anyway, Temple loves the book, and Temple talks about it. She uses the pictures in the book in her TED presentations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
In fact, this is funny because I went to the Geneva Center, and I was really intimidated by Temple when I first met her. Okay.
She intimidates easily. I was too when I interviewed her, Karen.
Yeah. So I was on the elevator at the Geneva Center, and I was a little nervous, Karen. I had my book in a little packet. I was going to maybe send it off to Future Horizons to maybe see if they'd look at it to get it published. And I'm like shaking, my knees are knocking together. And I handed it to her. I said, "Would you mind looking at this book just to see what you think?" And she goes, "Sure." So she took it. And then like about 6 months later, I called her to see what she thought of it. She says, "You're the one." And I'm like, "What?" She says, "You're the one who forgot to put your name on the back of that book. You should have put your name on the back of that book because I didn't know where you were. And you should have let me know who you were because I want to use those pictures. I want to use those in my presentation. Anyway, she's on and on. I'm like, okay. And then I forgot to ask her if I could use her name on my book as a testimonial because anyway. So we went back and forth for a few years, but anyway, she said, sure, no problem, And then Wayne was happy with that because then that sold more books. So
well, and I was thrilled. You got my phone number from Temple the other day, and that's how we were able to connect this time, which was super fun. But we want to tell people the book the pictures are absolutely beautiful, but the words are beautiful too, Karen. I think that there are probably going to be people out there who go, ooh, I don't love the title of the book. And I'm going to say to folks, there's a limited number of these books that are left. And I think, I don't want to speak for you, Karen, but I know that you're hoping to put out another edition, but there's a limited number of these books that are left. And I would say to people, you should get it in this iteration, and then maybe you want to get it once it's edited, and maybe the title will change. I don't know. But
it's not about the title. It's not about the title. It's about the content. Plus the fact that one thing that I have never released is a copy of the audio on the book that I had my daughter, who was 8 years old at the time, record professionally. I've never released it before. And anybody who buys this book, I will send the audio version, which is really, really good because it sounds like it's a little boy reading it.
It's adorable. The audio is absolutely adorable. It's so worth it, you guys. So where can they get the book, Karen?
If they go to littlerainman.com, they can buy it. And then if they send me an email, well, I guess it'll come through the shopping cart. If they buy it, and I will send them the audio version because it's really adorable.
It is adorable. And I think it'll be meaningful to your kiddos who are on the spectrum, but I also think it's a meaningful book to read to the other people in your life who are not understanding either that you are on the spectrum, if you're the person on the spectrum and you want them to understand it, or from the point of view of a parent wanting, like your mother-in-law or your, cousin Vinny, to understand that your child is on the spectrum and they're not getting. I think this book is a really accessible, beautiful way to understand that this is a whole person who has thoughts and feelings and is seeing the world slightly different, but not so different that you can't understand them. It's quite lovely, Karen.
And if they want, we have a classroom special. So if they want like 5 copies or more, I can do something different. So they can email me at autismtoday@gmail.com and I will work out a special price for 5 copies or more.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Karen, having gone through basically raising 7 children, but 2 on the spectrum, what have been some of the greatest challenges that you have had as a trailblazer in this field?
Well, dealing with the behaviors, of course, like having to deal with the challenges of, one time Jonathan pulled a knife on me. Right? And having to come up against that and say, no, okay, you want to cut your mother up, that's a big one.
Right.
And standing in the face of that and not backing down, that was a big challenge. Having to manage a lot of children in a close age range was very challenging. Trying to balance my energy and attention amongst a lot of kids because, you give too much attention to one kid, not enough to another. The youngest kind of loses out because you've given more and more to others. Oh my God, what's the biggest challenge?
Well, I know that's a tough question. I'm sure that were there times that you felt like you had to devote more attention to the 2 on the spectrum than your other children?
Yes. The time that Jonathan walked home from the pool and I lost him. And, he says, don't worry. He got in the bathtub and he says, don't worry, Mom. I walked down the backyard or back down the back alley so that nobody would get me. And we had the police out, the fire department out, lots of Jonathan stories. I mean, there's so many parents out there that have so many stories. It's like, I was thinking about doing the Little Rainman book all over again, but there's so many people out there that have their own stories. I could tell a bazillion stories of my stories, but other people have so many adorable, funny, traumatic, crazy, oddball stories that just need to be shared because they're gems. I call my kids my gems. I'm a gemologist too. So I call, yeah, I studied at the Gemological Institute of America. So I just, kind of look at all the things that are with our kids. We have inclusions in our kids, the good things and the bad things that make us sparkle. So
Karen, how did you balance it all? I mean, like when we were reading through your bio together before the show, both Nancy and I were like, man, I feel like a slacker.
That's right.
But seven kids
are...
and 7 kids and all the books and the shows and everything, like, and 2 on the spectrum. How did you work?
One was adopted. I adopted him out when I was like 19, so that's a whole story in itself. The other 6 were like 10 years apart, and that was hard to come out about that one. So, but it was one of those anyway. Like I've had a very long, dramatic life, I guess.
Sounds like your life could be made into a book, Karen. Would make a great book or a movie.
Maybe. I guess I've always lived to the fullest, and maybe I'm a little bit on the spectrum too. I told Temple that, and she says, "Of course you are, Karen." Maybe I perseverated on autism. It could be, but I'm not going to go down that path. I'm already on it. So.
Right.
Karen, they want to know if Little Rainman has been translated into any other languages.
It's been translated into Spanish. It's been translated into Arabic. It's been translated into, I think that's the 2 languages. So I would like to ideally add more content and add more stories into it and change the title. That's fine. It's not about the title. In fact, there's so many people that have so many issues around titles. When we were doing a little bit off topic, Chicken Soup for the Soul, we put an ask out there, what should we call Chicken Soup for the Soul? Because, like that was more like around all types of disabilities. What we had more people comment on what we should call it. Should we call it special needs, disabilities, different abilities? So many that Chicken Soup just about shut it down because there was too many comments. Because people really get nervous and get upset about all the different labels and titles and, everything. So it's not about the title. It's about what's in the book. It's about making it relatable, making it connect with people, making it understandable. Having people share their stories, share, understandable to people. Helping teachers understand, helping the other people, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the sisters, the brothers, it's that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So I
have to say it's very loving the way it's depicted in the book too. I think if people read it, that they will find that they will go, oh, this is really amazing. They'll understand why Temple thinks that it's so great. Karen, we're running out of time, but I want to know, at this point in the game, having raised your kids and they're adults, you mentioned this before, the whole employment piece, the whole work piece. Could you talk a little bit about what you've learned at this point that you can share with those of us who are just starting to wade in there?
Okay, it's like I said, it's important not to helicopter parent, and it's important to get them out working and just put your foot down and make sure that happens with both parents on the same page. That's important if you can get both parents on the same page. If you can't, it's just important to make sure that you get some type of something out there for them to work towards, whether it's, making crafts at home and selling them. In fact, we're introducing a program based on 2 books that we did before, which is called Artism. We created those 2 books where we had people do art. And we're going to do artism, art and music and dance, and teach people at home how to do things other than plug into the computer. So maybe something can evolve around that. I love creative energy. My sister's going to be teaching them how to do art. We're going to have somebody do music and then dance and those types of things. And there's always money-making opportunities. Teach them how to be an entrepreneur. Teach them how to go ask the neighbor if they can walk the dog. Do something besides just play video games.
And
Um,
this is really important to do early on. You're
early.
stressed.
Yes, early, age 6, age 8, something. You know, don't wait. By all means, don't wait. There's no reason not to start as soon as they can comprehend the idea. The sooner the better. You know, nothing wrong with making money. I think a lot of our generation thought, oh, no, we can't make money. That looks bad. You know, maybe it was, you know, religious, or it could be anything that got in our way of, you know, saying that it was a bad thing to earn a living or make money. You know, it was a bad concept. But there's nothing wrong with making money, earning a living, making yourself productive. I know we had to rake the leaves in the backyard. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So Karen, let's go through some of the things that are resources that are available on your website, all the things that you'd like for people to know that you've aggregated for them for resources. Just go down the list.
Okay, we have the autism expert section where we put autism experts. The experts can go and be an expert, and then put their Facebook, all their contact information, and then we invite them to come and be part of the Autism Today show. And then we have, you know, like, of course, books and things like that. It's easier for them to go to Amazon and get those types of resources right now, just because the world shifts and changes, you know. So we also have a newsletter. We'd like them to opt in to get access to the newsletter. And that's a weekly thing that we send out. We also have an at-home program where we're trying to build out places where moms and dads can make money from home, their convenience. Because right now we're living within 4 walls and the kids are bouncing off those walls too. So a lot of times parents can't find a way to make money. The kids can't find a way to make money. And it's very frustrating when the mom's, you know, cooking dinner and the kids don't know what to do except watch TV or play video games, right? So there's a way that we have access to something where they can actually use their phones to be able to make money on their time. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, again, they can reach me directly through autismtoday@gmail.com. I would, you know, the internet is, a lot of times it's putting a lot of emails in. People are losing emails, and it's really hard to get them. So that's why I'm saying that email address is probably best, because it gets right directly to me. I've got so many things all over the map here.
But I think that's a great resource for people who are wanting to work from home right now in COVID. You're saying that there's a potential job opportunity, but they should email you.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we're, you know, I believe that that we're not a political anything, but I believe that there's a lot of things we can do in this world that could help with our environment. You know, like I think that clean living is a good thing, and to clean up our diets, and I can do that myself too. But to, you know, eat more nutritiously, put things in our bodies that are more nutritious. Use cleaning products and things like that are going to help us a lot in this road of better quality lives, bodies, minds, spirits, and everything like that. So I'm a believer in those types of things.
Karen, can you tell us about your SOS course?
Oh, yes. We're working on a course. We're about halfway through, called Spectrum of Solutions. And it's from early detection, early intervention, through adulthood. So it's going to cover things that I've learned through my lifetime of going down the road of autism, early intervention, early, you know, behavioral management, biomedical interventions, keen on employment, projects that we've worked on, and put it into a more of a package so people can learn these things and at their leisure learn them, you know, through a course. I also have a nonprofit. It's called the Keen Foundation, and we just presented a course called Keen on Employment. And we had, like where I live, we had the county, you know, weigh in, and we had like Safeway, and we had different companies that were involved, and you can watch it too. We had different different people that were different nonprofits that weighed in, and they talked about how the employment and how important it is, and just different things that can help. So we have people that talk also on the Autism Today show that talk about oh God, there's so many different things. My head's spinning. That talk about the benefits of how we can help these people with sensory, behavior, communication, social skills. What type of lighting to use, what type of lighting not to use, how to help people in their environments and everything. So that's at Keene Foundation. Yeah, I can send you a link. I'll send a link for that. It's quite a lot of information. It was a full day conference.
Great. If they go to your website,
they can, but I think that's on Vimeo, so I can send you the link for Vimeo for the Keene workshop, and you can share that, because that's
wonderful.
Quite helpful.
And every time I talk, we get feedback, so I'm trying to talk less. But Karen, in parting, if there was one thing, you only have one thing that you could put into a basket for parents of kiddos on the spectrum, kiddos, teens, or adults, one thing that you know from all of your experience being a pioneer in this field, what would you say to them?
Love them unconditionally.
That's simple and to the point.
And love yourself unconditionally, and forgiveness, and love is letting. I keep adding on. Love is letting go of fear. Don't be afraid.
I love that. Is it something we can do today? Karen, you're amazing, and what a pioneer. Thank you for putting snowshoe footprints in the snow so that we could all follow your footsteps. Want to really encourage people. People are saying they want to get the book to share it with their family members. So once again, where can they go to get the book? And Traven will put it up on the screen.
littlerainman.com. And then, of course,
and for the website,
autismtoday.com.
There we go. Karen, thank you for all your work and for making Nancy and I feel like slouches.
Thank you, Karen. You're absolutely prolific. You're very great admiration for all the work you've done.
Thank you, Shannon and Nancy. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the work you're doing. You're carrying the torch. I love it.
Thank you so much. All right, you have a great day. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.